The evening of December 16th for the Americans is looking pretty dark, but hopefully we will figure out a little something to avoid getting completely destroyed. I didn't do quite a good job of maintaining my footage from last time. I may or may not have deleted it, but here we are on 16 p.m. turn for the Americans, and you can see actually in the north there hasn't been a lot of progress made by the Germans. They did manage to surround the 2 units from the 2nd Infantry Division here, but they didn't kill them. They knocked them down a step, but they couldn't get a retreat result, so all they got was a firefight. So they're holding fast for another turn. And what this enables the Americans to do is to reposition something to hold the middle a little bit better. And I think that's something will have to be this armored cav here in the town. So the Americans will just move down the road, and they will probably actually have to go off-road here. Because this hex here is kind of vital to their defense. Now, as far as the artillery goes here, they can just move up into the town, and that at least prevents the town from getting immediately invaded there. We don't really have to worry about this advance through the woods here, because that's going to take too long. And with the early game movement penalties to the Germans, that's not really a threat of a breakthrough right there. So we're not going to hold that with anything. We're just going to let the woods do its thing for now. That might change a future point, but for now that's where it's going to stay. I am considering though moving Hodges onto the other side of the river, although he's kind of not bad where he is there. So I might just leave him there. And then as far as counterattack potential, we don't really have any, so that's not going to happen, because all these German infantry and everything German around here is in good defensive terrain too. It's not just that the Americans are, the Germans are equally well defended, and they've got a lot of troops, so can't really do too much with them. And we don't really have the ability to maneuver without getting surrounded on the next turn. So it's not worth moving forward and risking that unit. What we could do a little bit of is, I guess we could try attacking out of this, but I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think you can even get a 1-to-1, because we would have, let's see, so 9 to 3, 9 to 8, because that guy didn't shoot. Or actually, he did fire, right? He must have fired. Yeah. So I think all these guys shot. I'm gonna leave them all fired. And as the Germans, you can't shoot twice. So I'm going to leave them all unfired. I guess there is the potential here for the attack to kind of work. So 9 to 3, 9 plus. I guess we could throw in the 5. I don't think we have anything else in range. No, we don't. So 14 to 3, that seems good, but 3 does not stay 3. So that's going to be an issue. We do have the ER advantage because we have a 5 and they have a 3. So we have an ER advantage of 1. Actually, 4 is our lowest. So we could get that. And let's see, what else can we get? I think that's kind of it. And so the terrain advantage there is a shift left, obviously, because it's in heavy woods. And yeah, I think this might actually work. Okay, so normally 14 to 3 would be that would be 4 to 1, but it's 3 to 1. So the shift left does hurt, but it's 3 to 1 minus 1. So it's actually not a bad situation to be in. And I believe that the units around him can't help. German artillery may use their combat strength only once per game turn. Oh, okay. That's pretty unambiguous. It is 3 to 1 minus 1 is what we're rolling on against here. 3 to 1 minus 1. He rolled a 3. D1. Okay, and the German guy has to go back towards his supply, but because this would put him overstacked, it is okay for him to just go to where that artillery piece is, even though it's not the fastest route to supply. And that's how that retreat would work there. And the reason I'm doing that attack now is because I'm not going to move anything else, I don't think. I'm going to leave everyone where they were at the end of last turn, with the exception of I did move a couple of guys before I turned on the camera. So I did move the 9th Combat Command A back across the river there. I'm not sure if I should have gone further back or not, but I guess it is what it is. Probably not the best spot for him to be. And then for my engaged marker, I have to resolve that as well. So what engaged means is that you either have to retreat or continue combat. So I think actually in this case, we are going to continue combat. You know, it's 17 to... this is just an artillery. Oh, shoot. So actually, he can't do that. I didn't even look at what was under there. I lied. Okay. In that case, I'm retconning my move, and this guy will retreat. Oh, that changes things then. Shit. All right, let's move him there. Crap. Sorry, I'm totally breaking the sequence of play here, but sometimes you got to put him there. And then actually, no, let's not put them there. Let's drive him all the way around to this side. And then we will pull him back 1. Okay, so that does open the road up over here to Houffalize, which is a bit of a problem. Can't really do that now, can I? I think I need to flip-flop these guys. Back one like that. And that will work. Is it worth it to move in that rough terrain? Probably. They won't have enough movement points to get there. Shoot. We'll just leave the 28th Infantry right there. Okay, so now they can drive right up to that guy, so he actually needs to be one further back here. I think this would work perfectly. Okay, and he can definitely make that, because that's like, yeah, that's fine. It's only like 2 movement points max. Okay, so I take back what I said about not moving. And I also am going to retreat this guy 1. And I retreat this guy. I'm an idiot. I should have done all this earlier. Okay, so that's a full 1 movement. So 1, 2, put him there. And then move him up 1. That'll be kind of annoying for them to deal with. He's gonna die anyway, I think, at this point, but at least it'll be annoying for them. They'll have to kill him. And then I think we can relieve the rest as is. Yeah, that should keep us pretty safe, because even if he gets a D4 here, he can't surround him. All right. Oopsies. Oh well. Not too bothered by that. I should have planned that out a little bit better, but that's what happens when you're not playing against someone. Nobody makes you follow the rules. Sometimes you cheat. December 17th a.m. And now December 17th a.m. we have planes involved. Okay, aircraft can be either used in ground support or air interdiction. So air interdiction is just like preventing them from moving around as easily, and then ground support is actually affecting a combat. And now I think what we want to do is use the planes to kind of halt this advance. So we have mutual supply phase, which this guy is still out of supply. Oh shoot. You know what? I really did mess that combat up. These guys should have had their values halved. So that should have been 2 to 1. So a 3 on a 2 to 1 would have been a counterattack, not a... yeah, so let's put that guy back where he was, and we'll give him a counterattack. There we go. Alright, so that guy is under counterattack now, which is much less damaging to them, because now he doesn't have to move, and they can just do their thing and wipe him out. So anyway, back to the sequence of play. We're doing the mutual supply phase now. So he is, I think that is the only one out of supply. And if you are out of supply for multiple turns, I think you got to start rolling for surrender. Though, I got to check on that. Each turn beginning with the 17 a.m. game turn, that units possessing an unmodified ER of 3 or less are determined to be out of supply and are surrounded by zone of control. The die is rolled. So he is not ER of 3 or less, but you do get a -1 to your ER, but they're both 5, so that's no big deal there. So they're not going to be surrendering. These guys are going to fight to the last man. But that doesn't really help them all that much, so they're still stuck where they are. All right. Anyone else out of supply? I don't think so. No, everyone else can still trace supply. Yep. So I think everyone else is okay. Now, for the next part of the sequence of play, we are doing the mutual air interdiction phase. And this only happens at the beginning of a game turn. So we've got 4 total counters for air, and we need to put them down. So I'm thinking 1 down to here, which kind of forces the German player around. Alternatively, I could do it in this forest hex, which would be a real pain in the butt for him. German mechanized units may enter an interdicted forest road hex by paying 2 full movement points and stopping. If a mechanized unit wishes to move into the air interdicted hex using a road movement rate, it must challenge the air interdiction. You roll the die. On a 1 over 2, unit takes a step loss. Yeah, so we want to do that in that forested hex there, and then probably just the one next to it, to be honest. Yeah, let's do it like that. That's the real risk. You don't want them breaking through to Fufulis. That's where we need the air. Now, it stinks that we can't use it in a battle, but we need to block off that road. And it also means that this 112th Regiment of the 28th Infantry Division here is not as much threatened by a dual attack from both Panzer Lehr and the 560th Infantry Division and its supporting units. So this engaged goes away. And now we're on to the reserve phase, because the Germans do not want to use their planes for interdiction, because the Allies aren't going anywhere, and air interdiction doesn't prevent you from retreating through the hex, or for advancing through it. So its only use is on the movement phase. It doesn't affect the combat phase. But these air boyos are going to be quite useful for hopefully finishing off some 50-50 attacks. So the big thing for us as the Germans here, and I think we're going to start from the north, we want to be able to reserve something, but the problem is we didn't move our commanders last turn because we did reserve something. So that kind of messes us up a little bit. So instead what we want to do is prepare to reserve on the next turn. And that's gonna take a minute for us to set up. So what I'm thinking is we bring up Dietrich all the way up to here, right? And then we're going to swing around Piper. Put Piper on reserve next turn in anticipation of being able to break through over here. I don't know if that's going to play out, but that's kind of my plan, is to eventually swing Piper up and be able to launch a big attack out of the north. I think that could be really cool. As for other units that might want to be reserved, we do have Brandenburger down in the south, but we don't really need to reserve anyone in his army. And same with Manteuffel. We don't really want to reserve anyone because we have to fight some battles here, and I kind of want to throw as much strength into those battles as possible. So what we're going to do with Manteuffel is move him all the way up to Clairvaux. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I think there's already 3 there, so it's going to have to be 1 short of Clairvaux. Actually, do leaders count for stacking limits? I don't know the answer to that question. I think only combat units do. Leaders do not count towards stacking limits. Okay, so he can go into Clairvaux. So he will be in Clairvaux. And that's not really for this turn, that's for next turn, but still useful to have him there. Also, I should check the reinforcements. I didn't even do that. Maybe we have some reinforcements we can bring in. 7, no, nothing for the Germans. Only the Americans get reinforcements this turn. Okay, good to know, good to know. I didn't think we did, but it's always good to check anyways. Do we want to move Brandenburger up to Dietrich maybe? That seems like it could be a good staging area. Let's do that. Not that he really has anything mechanized that would be worth reserving. I don't think he's got any mechanization down here. The 7th Army is just an infantry army, basically, so he's only there for his dashing good looks with his shiny bald head. Look at that shiny head. He's a chrome dome, but a very effective chrome dome, I'm sure. Anyway, 7th Army doesn't have any mechanized units, so there's not really a point. Oh, I forgot to finish the bridge down here. Whoopsies. I will do that. Just pretend that happened at the end of the German turn. That's when you're supposed to build bridges. This is a built bridge now. And We can get rid of the destroyed bridge marker. Okay, so that never happened. This bridge was built. So now they've already used up 3 built bridges just to kind of get in position. So that's kind of stinky. We're gonna have to move up. So I'm gonna go from back to front. So we're gonna move up the artillery. So he can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's as far as he can get. And the reason I'm doing that, I think it's a faster route to eventually, I'm thinking of bringing him up to Bastogne from the south road here, because the Allies will get reinforcements along here. And generally what the Allies do is they are able to block off this advance very easily. But if you rush forward really fast and can kill off anything that comes in over here, you can advance to Bastogne from the south, which is what I'm hoping to be able to do. Alternatively, we might be able to just break out through Clairvaux, and then that would be great too. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Just got to do one of them. Okay, then these other guys in the rear with the gear here, we're going to move them up now that the bridge is built. So we got, these guys are both 3s, and let's see where we want, I think we want these guys to go south as well. The other stack goes along to here. They can both do that quite comfortably. The idea is we're going to attack this guy here with those infantry. Across the river, admittedly, it's probably not going to happen, but, and this guy moved, so he cannot shoot. So that'll be 1, 2, that's as far as they can get. They can't actually get into the combat. That's unfortunate. But whatever, if that doesn't happen this turn, it might happen the next. But that's just gonna be a pain in the butt. I mean, it depends how things shake out. He could either go to the forest on the southern side or on the other side. But either way, he could potentially be a thorn in their side. Now, the way I've seen this unit played in the past is people usually take him up over here and cross him over here. But I'm thinking I might be able to cut them off and do some real damage with that. The only limitation is he does have to stay north of this dotted line because he is in the 5th Army. So that is a bit of a pain, but I think we can deal with it and still have him be very, very useful right there. All right, so now for the rest of the German stuff, we are looking at kind of the middle of the map here. And what I'm thinking is, because of these interdictions, we want to focus on Clairvaux, on the Clairvaux route. And so we're going to have to take some off-roading penalties here just to threaten an advance on Houffalize. So unfortunately, we're kind of still in the early phase, so I still think we are not able to move quite as far as I would like. Oh no, I guess the traffic jams are kind of over now, so we're into regular movement phases now. All right, so in that case, I'm gonna say it's kind of hard to be in a traffic jam when you're hoofing it across rough terrain here. In that case, the 2nd Regiment of the 2nd Division here will cross here, so that's 1, 2. That'll be 3. And then he could do 1, 2, and get over to there, and that would negate the river bonus, which is huge. All right, so now I'm thinking that the Panzerlehr, these boyos, are going to want to sally forth down to the Clairvaux region. So we'll move him first. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to stack them into Clairvaux, and we will just move this guy over 1. cool. And now these guys are all going to cross the river and have to fight that battle. And since they're already full, that's fine. And as for this guy, I think we'll bring him down and... So wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2. And I think that's where I want him. And then these guys are also going to have to hoof it across open terrain. Well, close terrain, I should say. And that means that's 2 movement points to get into there. So we have 2, 3, and then he could do... So he could just get to there, basically. And the cool thing about Manteuffel is he can move and release. So during the next turn, I think what we might be able to do with those Panzer guys is to move and release them. And I also want to bring the recon back up. So that's 2. So he's down to 3 movement points already. And we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2. And that's as far as he can get, I think. So that's cool. Man, I'm having such a hard time keeping these stacks straight. It's really just the camera getting in the way. I just keep knocking things because I can't see. All right, so now we're up kind of in the middle-y part of the map here. I think I can finally put the camera down for a minute. That'd be nice. All right. Let's see, what are we looking at here? We have not really any options to move there. Can't cross the river because of the zone of control. So they're going to have to attack the 106th Division here. And we're just so constricted. I feel so bottled in. I guess we'll move them down here just in case there's a breakout. Actually, maybe we go all the way down. So how far would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they could get pretty damn far because it's all on road to the other side of the river down by Clairvaux. And I think that's where I'm going to put them. Kind of start really massing a lot of force down here near Clairvaux. I mean, that looks pretty scary, I'm not going to lie. We're going to have to use this artillery because we really, really need to break this 106th Division here. We can finally move Piper and the rest of these boyos up to surround them, which is great. So at least we will kill them this turn. They're going to die. Pretty certain about that. We can also move these guys up to here and... So they were here. They don't really have a spot now, do they? No, that's okay. We'll just keep them in reserve, I guess. Be a strategic reserve, not a tactical one, because we can't activate them. They're not mechanized, so you can only activate mechanized units. Now we're finally back to the top of the map here. We're going to unfire all of these and pray to God that we can get a decent die roll and actually win this battle. Hopefully not another friggin' firefight. That would suck. All we need is a D result. It only needs to be a D1, and I would be very, very happy. And I will hold Skorzeny back for now. And actually, I might even move Skorzeny up to where Dietrich is hanging out. I don't know if this is a huge waste of his resources or not. But I feel like maybe doing the Skorzeny sneak up here could be pretty powerful. Because if I win this combat here, I will be able to get back onto the road, which will let me get the Piper conf group all the way up north. And then if I can break through up in the north, I can get pretty damn far. Even though they're going to be bringing in reinforcements, I should still be able to make some progress along that road. At least getting into the woods. Because if we can get into that open terrain past this clump of woods up here, it is smooth, very smooth sailing. So that's the ultimate goal. But what we can do is we can at least get this guy into the fray. So he'll join here. And I think that's about as much force as we can bring to bear in that battle. And that's what we'll do. All right, so now we have some battles. And I'm not sure what I want to do first here. I kind of feel like trying this one first, but I don't know if my luck is with me right now. So now we just got to count up all our factors. So they have 9, but it's halved because they're out of supply, but they still get the left shift. So it's actually 4.5 in there. So that rounds to 5. We'll round it up. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but we'll round it up to 5. And we'll do 11 plus 7. So that's 18. And then under here, we've got 28, 30, plus another 15. So we're at 45. 45 to 5 to 10. Okay, so 45 to 10 is 4 to 1. But a shift left because of the terrain. So it's actually a 3 to 1. But 3 to 1 should be enough to get the job done. We just have to roll 3 or better for the love of God. 2. That's it. Finally. That battle was something else. Took forever. And there was actually no ER difference because you have an ER -1 when you're out of supply. So they were the same ER. And let's see, so 3 to 1, a 2 on a 3 to 1 is a D2. So they are eliminated because they cannot retreat out of this hex. So these guys are both eliminated, which is huge for us. Really opens up the front lines now. And a D2 is, it's 1 more than 1. These ones go to 11. Well, it's 1 louder, isn't it? So I think we do 1. I want these guys in there. I want these guys in there. And I want the biggest, baddest infantry I can get into there. And then the rest of them, I think everyone else we want to stack over to there if we can. And then the last guy will he's the backup, so he's already been damaged. He'll just move into there. We have fired all of our artillery. And they have done a heroic deed, finally. Took us long enough. Holy cow. All right, but now we're in great position, so should be much easier next time. Okay, so the 99th Division here is under attack by, I think we're going to use everyone plus the artillery. But let's count it up first. Yeah, I think we'll throw the artillery in. So it's 6, 12, 16, 20, plus, okay, we got, didn't mean to knock them all over. So 36, 40, 51, 51 to 5 is, plenty. So let's just do that. We'll save the artillery. A 2 on a 7 to 1. Or not 7 to 1. It would be, no, 7 to 1. Jeez, what's wrong with me? So 2 on a 7 to 1 is a 1d3. And I think I'm supposed to roll for the Panzer scare too, because we're using SS Panzer units. How do you do that? I haven't actually rolled for the Panzer scare thing yet. Okay, so we compare the roll of the die to the ER of the highest ER of the defending units. As the die roll is equal or greater than the ER, then a shift to the right occurs. Well, we can't shift right anyway, so it doesn't matter. But they indeed would be scared. So it was 7 to 1 no matter how you slice it. And it's they're actually going to be eliminated because they cannot retreat. So they're dead too. And getting that 1d3 is really, really good for us. Kind of critical, actually. Because what it allows us to do is to make sure that everyone gets onto a road. Oh, God, I just moved the wrong guy off the board. We were attacking here, not over there. I'm a dum-dum. Let me get that other guy back. Sorry, 106. Actually, 1d3 doesn't do a whole hell of a lot to us, actually. But I think what I can do is to do something like 1, 2, 3 and get back onto the road, which is nice. But the rest of it is not all that useful. 4 against a lot. And he is in light woods. Which doesn't help. So essentially, it's going to be an ER difference of 2. So it's going to be a -1 on the roll. And we also are going to roll for a Panzer scare. So we might as well do that now. The Panzer scare is 2. And on Panzer scare, you want to roll equal or greater than his ER. So he is not scared, he's brave. And now we are rolling a... okay, so 24, 28, 34... 40, 47, 51, 51 to 4 again. Well, 51 to 4 this time, so it's even more 7 to 1, if you can be more, which you can't. And again, we roll a 2. And again, he is eliminated, and it's a D3. Jesus Christ. It's a bloody turn. Okay, so that's good for him. He can move up there. Oh, no, he can't. I think he can cross the boundary and whatever. He's going to end up there. So I think that's legal. And this guy will go into the hex and then advance up to here. And he can't go there because that's zone of control. And then he can at least go up into the hex. All right. We're looking good. We're looking good. Not great, but good. All right. So now this stack will attack the 106th. Oh, wait, no. They were just in that fight. Never mind. Disregard. Okay, this is the next battle here. So this would be a 14 plus 5 coming in. So 19 to... I don't think they have enough to do this. 19 to 11, that's not a good odds. Let's not fight that battle. We'll leave that be. We'll try further south here. Down where the plains are. This is where we might want to throw in a ground support plane. Okay, so we have 17 to 5. And he's in Lightwood, so no bonus there. But it's going to be 17 to 13. So 1 to 1. -1 with a ER with a shift from the plane. So we're at 2 to 1 -1 when all is said and done here. And they roll a 3. They've been rolling good this turn. So that's actually a 2, which is a D1. There we go. That's correct. Now we are up to the Clairvaux battle, I think. Yeah. Okay, so here we have um, 21 in that stack, and then another 11. So it gets us up to 32. We don't have any artillery to bring in. So it's going to be 32 to 5. He is in rough terrain. So that's a shift left. Broken terrain, I should say. So that's a shift left. But 32 to 5 would be 5 to 1. Not quite 5 to 1, 4 to 1. And so now it's 3 to 1. And we do have an ER advantage of 1, so we get the -1. So 4 to 1, or 3 to 1, -1. And he rolls a 1, goes down to a 0, which is a D4. Oh my goodness, that is potentially the best result possible. Yeah, that's literally the best possible result for him. Better than anything else. Okay, so this guy is totally screwed. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all the way back to Longueville. And then he's going to get absolutely hunted down by these stacks. So he can do 1. Oh man, I wonder if I should beeline that way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just chase him down, I think. Don't need to do anything fancy here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that should work. Cool. Wow, that's an incredible result. Pushed him all the way back to the edge of Bastogne. That's huge. Absolutely huge. So that means that our strategy of bringing down all that crap towards that area is going to be amazing. Bastogne is totally going to fall within a turn, I would say, because we can just bring so much stuff down there. I don't know what they're able to bring in on reinforcements, but even if they can get like a full stack onto Bastogne, it's not going to matter that much. I think we've just now broken up in the gates so wide that everybody should be able to break right in. Especially with like exploitation rules, we should be able to break through. All right, so now there's only 2 combats potentially left, but I think it's going to end up being 1, because I don't think the odds are with us in the very bottom here. But we do want to attack this guy, because he's only a 2, which goes up to a 4. And he's being attacked by quite a bit of force. So he's got 19 there. Plus we're bringing in another 9. So we're up to 28. 28 to 4 is quite a bit of punch. The sucky thing is Milton's probably going to die here, I guess. Unless they retreat pretty far. Okay, so 28 to 4 is exactly 7 to 1. And it's going to be 7 to 1 straight up. Oh, the first bad roll of the turn, a 6. So a 6 is a D3 on a 7 to 1. Actually, that's pretty good. Okay, so he's going to do 1, 2, 3, and he's going to get here. Thank God. That is a very important hex to get to. If he had not gotten there, he would have been in a lot of trouble. But because he's at least across the river, he's relatively safe. Okay, so we can do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, I think. So we want to try to rush that way if we can. Well, actually, let's leave this guy here. Yeah. Let's move him there. Actually, we'll move him here, move him here. That'll work. Yeah, that should work. All right. Well, maybe the luck... I got my 6 out of the way, so maybe the luck is with me now. So maybe we'll try it. So this is 14 against... let's see, 9... 15... 14, so it's 1 to 1. It's not the worst odds in the world. But we're all across the river, so it is a shift left. So it's actually 1 to 2. Still, I kind of want to do it. I think 1 to 2 is still worth doing in this case. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think 1 to 2 is good enough. Oh my God, especially when you roll a 1. Wow. And that was 1 to 2. Actually, it should be a 1 to 2 minus 1. So it's really the 0, which is a counter attack. Sad. That's okay. I'm happy with it. Shit, I never used my other air. Oh, let's use the air. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so now we're back to the 1 to 1, and the minus 1 puts us at a D2. So we can get across the river now. So he's got to go 1, 2. Okay. And we used both our air. So they can cross the river, but that's it. And these guys can move up. Oh, no, they can't even go up there. All right. Neato. That sneaky air attack there. Late arriving air attack, I should say. Really made the difference. Well, I think that was a pretty damn good turn. The Germans have now opened the door to Bastogne, which is huge. Because Bastogne, what strategically is important about it is this crossroads here that basically controls the entire southern half of the map. So if you have Bastogne, they cannot bring up reinforcements from the south very easily, and they can also not bring down reinforcements from the north very easily. So it means you can kind of seal off the bottom half of the map for the 7th Army, which is great because the 7th Army is one of your kind of weaker points as the Germans. And it also puts a lot of pressure on them now to kind of have to reinforce it, or reinforce something down there. I guess Houffalize is their next kind of area where they can hold out. But that is quite a long front line that they have to hold. So it's going to be a pain until they get a lot more reinforcements on the board. But I'm imagining that this is going to be pretty devastating for them. So the Americans are going to have to think of some way that they can rush in reinforcements and try to get back into the Bastogne area to at least slow down the Germans. Because they lost so many units just dead on this turn. They lost 4 full units on one turn, which is a lot of losses. So there's a lot of open spots now for the Germans to take advantage of on the next turn. And the next turn, there is yet again air involved. So yes, the Americans could use their air interdiction to at least save Bastogne, but that's about it. So they're going to have to pick and choose. They're either going to have to try to rush reinforcements down onto this road somewhere, or somehow reposition along that road, which I think they could still do with the forces that they have for now. At least just throw an artillery piece right on the road and make them kill it, something like that. But as far as being able to, get a lot of reinforcements into Bastogne, I don't see it happening, because I think the 7th Army will be kind of in position by then. The 7th Army's progress has been really, really good, actually. I can hardly believe how good their progress has been. If anything, the least impressive area has been the north. The north has really been slowed down by that combat. So we'll have to see what happens up there. But I think the threat of Piper swinging up around all the way to the north is going to make it very interesting for the Americans to decide where their force has to go. Because the door is kicked open in the middle, but at the same time, the threat of the SS Panzer units, you can't ignore that. That's still a significant threat. So they're going to have to do something. Anyway, till next time. See ya.